Hi, my name is Arielle Kaplan, and I played Veronica Clark in Stab 5. Veronica was not a very nice person. She knew that she had a lot of talent. She knew that she was going to be a star. She only had the chance to do so. And she had a lot of self-preservation going on, and she was going to exploit her castmates in order to stay alive as long as possible. Unfortunately, that does not work out so well for her in the end. I would like to hope that Veronica is not based on me in any way. As a living character, I have been in one StabMovies.com production, but I did show up again in Stab 6. I was not a killer. I killed at all my scenes, but I unfortunately did not survive Stab 5. I was really appreciative to Josh for bringing me back for a brief cameo in Stab 6. It was really cool to be part of the project again. I loved doing the death scene. It was really fun running around in a parking garage in the middle of the night and screaming at the top of my lungs and then doing all the blood effects as I was being stabbed and dying gloriously in the middle of the parking garage. I had a lot of fun with that. The worst part, I don't really remember there being a worst part. I think I was probably pretty cold because I'm usually pretty cold all the time, but I just remember it being a lot of fun. A typical day of filming would be we would get in, we would run what we wanted to do a couple of times. Josh would talk us through how he wanted the scene to look. We would take a couple of different takes, and then we would film it a couple of times for real. I remember a lot of late nights. I remember a lot of camaraderie. It was a lot of fun to be in a StabMovies.com production. A couple of the scenes that I was in, we shot at night. So we had to be up, we had to be focused, and we still had to be giving great performances, even though it was ticking on towards 11, 12, 1 in the morning. So it was a really great time to bond together with my castmates. Several I knew before, several I met during the course of Stab 5, and it was really fun. I really loved the script for Stab 5. I thought it was snappy. I thought it was really unique in the story that they were trying to tell. And I thought that my character was really fun because it's always interesting to play someone who is not very nice and to go into the motivations of why they are that way. The death scene, it was so fun. I touched on this briefly before, but I had a great time. We were filming in the parking garage across from the Palace Theater in Manchester, New Hampshire, and it was probably 11 o'clock at night. It was very dark. No one was there, pretty much apart from us. A couple of cars went by, which was a little scary because the part where I die is actually on one of those ramps heading down to another level. So I had to lay with my head facing down, looking up towards where the cars would be coming from, as the character playing Ghostface was on top of me with the knife, pretending to gut me. So that was really fun. I got absolutely filthy from the dust on the floor of the parking garage. And I remember it just being a really, really fun evening. By the end of it, we were tired, we were exhausted, we were dirty, but we had a great time. What happened during it was we were trying, I think Josh's character, my character Veronica, we were trying to escape and we couldn't get into the car, and Ghostface is coming and we're trying to just get out of the parking lot and run away. We end up running across one level of the parking garage, starting to run down, and Josh's character tripped. And in her one moment of selflessness, Veronica stopped, tried to help him, and I remember Ghostface grabbed me by the shoulder, turned me over, and that's when I started screaming and just started stabbing. And Josh is like, bye! Because his character was very similar to Veronica in that way, a lot of self-preservation. I had a shirt on that was a yellow sweater that I wore for a couple of scenes. And then I just happened to, a couple of years before, done Drew Barrymore's character from Scream, Casey Becker, as a Halloween costume. So I had a very similar yellow sweater that was already cut up, had all the blood effects on it. And what we did, because they weren't exactly the same, the yellow sweaters, was I wore a gray sweatshirt that was unzipped over it. So you could kind of tell, if you look really closely, that they're not exactly the same, those two different sweaters. And we went through the scene up until the moment where Ghostface started stabbing, and we called cut. And I changed out my shirts very quickly, lay back down on the ground, and he went to town. And that blood was cold, I remember. Very, very sticky, very, very cold. Even though there was already blood effects on the shirt, we had to add even more of it. It was great. It was a lot of fun. I hope that Josh continues to create content like this. It is really fun to see what he's come up with throughout the years. It's great that he's been able to continue the story that Wes Craven created so many years ago. It is the only scary movie franchise that I enjoy. I don't like scary movies. I'm sorry. But I do love Scream and I do love Stab. And I want to thank Josh for having me be a part of this. My name is Arielle Kaplan, and I had a brief cameo in Stab 6, returning as Veronica Clark from the grave. Stab 5 was the only production that I was in fully as a character, and as a brief kind of callback to one of the Scream movies where Randy shows up on videotape, Veronica shows up on a videotape as well. That was kind of cool to get this calling back from the grave sort of thing with Veronica, saying things like, take this seriously, they're going to get you no matter what, you need to stay alive as much as possible because this is a serious threat. And it was great that Josh decided to bring me back because it is such a fun experience to be part of Stab. The best part of filming for me in Stab 6 was it was just one day. I filmed my little message from beyond the grave, and that was it. Which was nice because that was when I had already moved out of the Manchester area. I was really starting to take off more in my career as an actor, so I wasn't around quite as much. And it was nice to be able to still be involved, but not have to travel and to come back and forth to be part of the production again, but still have a voice in it. So I really appreciate that. I actually didn't read the script for Stab 6 other than the part that I was in because I wanted to be surprised because Veronica is not actually a part of the story anymore. So I read the scene that I was in as a side, and then once it all got put together, I got to see how that fit into the larger story, which I really enjoyed as an audience member and as an actor. Also because I hate watching myself. And because it was filmed over a year later, you can tell that it was not actually filmed at the same time because my hair is much different between Stab 5 and Stab 6. We tried to hide that as best as we could, but the magic of peeling back the curtain of the movie making will tell you that it's different.